Cue the music, let's go. I'm your boy Ro, contributor for State of the U and OG member of the Orange Bowl Boys, and welcome to this Caneswear edition of X's and Ro, the series where you ask the question and we provide the answers to the best of our abilities, and we're coming in strong right off the bat. Luke Cheney, at Luke_Cheney4. What is TVD's best trait that doesn't get talked about enough? I'm glad you brought this up because right now when you're hearing about TVD and all the accolades, you're hearing about the big arm, right? And the confidence. But there's a couple things with that big arm that I want to show you. First, I want to show you the quick release because I think his baseball background and his arm adaptability is getting a little undernoticed. But then the ability to turn what I like to coin like a 4-6-3 double play. Now, I know he was a third baseman, so just the ability to just really get it out quick because you need the ball to come out. Now, just watch this RPO slant. Watch how quick TVD gets this ball out. Ready? It's out. To me, that's just elite level quickness, right? The ability to go ahead and snap it out. Now, the next thing, I'm going to give you two. We know about his athleticism, and you're going to see it, right? Some sneaky athleticism. He's made some plays with his feet, especially on this 3rd and 5 when you need it. But it's the pocket mobility, the pocket presence, the pocket awareness. He was in the middle of doing a gun 5, so he was really, really stretched out here. Real hard for the offensive tackles in that point because defensive linemen can go shoot upfield. So you're going to see right here off his right side. Now, he looks like he's dead to rights, right? You see this defensive end bearing down on him? So the pocket presence, he understands where it is, the pocket mobility, just to be able to skirt that. And then little pump fake for good measure, gets the first down when you need it. Those are the things, the quick release, the sneaky athleticism in the pocket presence and awareness. I think those were some hidden attributes that maybe go unnoticed when your quarterback calls out NC State defense 2 weeks ago, no? This question's coming in from Kim Renning, at K Renning, on Twitter, online. If I mispronounced that, I apologize. Why isn't Arroyo in more often? It seems he is very capable. Does he struggle with blocking? I'm going to answer the second part of that question first, Kim. No, I don't see him from a week-to-week basis, from my vantage point at least, struggling with blocking. Okay? Now, we're going to go over to the Pitt game. We're going to see his effectiveness, right? But I am going to answer the questions like, why isn't he in more? And to me, it has to do with you only have one football. You have a lot of playmakers on that side of the ball, and it really has to do with the sets that University of Miami are running. And I'll explain. This is what we call 12-set personnel, meaning one running back, 2 tight ends, okay? When you put 2 tight ends on the field, you're going to lose something somewhere, and in this case, it's going to be typically a wide receiver, right? More tight ends, less wide receivers, or you could go ahead and put a tight end and lose a running back. So that's where it is for me. You lose a Jalen Knighton, you lose possibly a Mike Harley or Xavier Restrepo. You have to keep Charleston Rambo on the field. But what we do know is that in the 12-set personnel, when you actually keep Will Mallory and Arroyo in together, you can have plays like this. This was tucked into the boundary. This was the touchdown. Good job by TVD surveying the field, and great route and anticipation throw, and Arroyo rewards you. I think he's a great pass-catching option. I think he's great in that 12-set when you're keeping 2 tight ends on the field. I just think you have a lot of playmakers this year, and you only have one ball, Kim. This question's coming in from 247Canes, at 247_Canes on Twitter. Hey, Ro, on defense, the tackling has significantly improved on this team. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Is this more about personnel or something being done differently? I think it's a little bit of both. The thing that I sense being done differently, well, first of all, Manny Diaz addressed it. In practice, his tackling prerogative needed to shift. Now, what I do sense now is when there's a potential ball carrier, right, this defense does everything, and they have a sense of urgency about them now. When they get their hands on somebody, you sense more desperation in getting that guy to the ground. I think they realize being the worst in the country at something takes work, not necessarily good work, right? They were the last team in the country in terms of missed tackles. So that started to permeate that we have to go ahead and address this. Now, in terms of personnel, my goodness, coming into this game, and it's still the case now, Cam Kinchins hasn't missed a tackle. So in that Michigan State game, you had a lot of missed tackles from the safety position. I've always said that a Manny Diaz defense, the safety needs to be an eraser. You can't afford to miss tackles. So wrapped up all in one. Right here, the sense of urgency, the desperation in making a tackle, and the ability to put your hands on somebody with the right personnel, it can lead to this. My goodness. Violent streak. I love it. Ooh, a technical question, and I love these. Jesus Shuttlesworth at MWolf_623. A lot of our offensive success early last year was out of trips to the boundary. Formation has been non-existent this year. Thoughts on that not being used as much? Not so fast, my friend, because maybe you're thinking the bunch trips set to the boundary, but I'm going to show you a couple examples going back the last 2 weeks with the offensive explosions that we've had, and guess what? This is trips to the boundary. Now, not in your traditional sense where maybe you're thinking the bunch set, but here's one pass catching option, 2 and 3. And what happens on this play right here? Well, this is what we ran the trick play out of. It was an actual trips formation to the boundary. Great play design, way to go, Rhett Lashley. Now, some of the things you might not notice as well. Here, let's go to the NC State game. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this real quick so you can see it a little bit better, but there's 1 to the boundary, 2 to the boundary, 3 to the boundary. Technically, for a defensive alignment call and purposes, their pass strength is set there heavy to the boundary side. That is a 3 look. And what happens on this play? It goes the other way because the defense rotates into a cover 0. You're leaving a one-on-one option away from the boundary to the field side, and this was Rambo. Bang. We got some 3x1 sets to the boundary, my friend. I promise. And the heavyweight champ, Steve Kim at Steve Kim 323. Do you think Cody Brown should get more of the short yardage and goal line carries instead of the Rooster? Well, I think by now we know who running back 1 is. The Rooster adds a dynamic and element to your offense that wasn't there at the beginning of the year. His ability to put his foot in the ground, potentially make a guy miss, and be a home run threat, well, that's equally to me why the offense is upticked other than TVD's performance. But one thing that bodes well for Cody and along the goal line, and I know we're in the red zone, not necessarily on the goal line, but it's 31-31, Steve. And pay attention to the young freshman willingness to be physical and block. Right there, picks up that Mike linebacker, and this is going to allow the touchdown to happen. It was Cody Brown's physicality there that led to that play. So I didn't want that to get unnoticed. So I'm going to tell you as a coach, I see that and I see your willingness to be physical and pass pro, then yes, you get along the goal line. I got no problems if you want to give the big boy the ball. This question's coming in from Myreek McCray at MJ_McCray. What do you attribute to the improved running game? It seems as if Guerin has found his 5 guys. He has. And they have shown progress the past few weeks. They have. Is it the blocking, the running back, the threat of the downfield passing, opening up the box? I love this question, and we're going to go back last week and this week. And I'm going to say, is it the blocking, the running back, the threat of the downfield passing, opening up the box? It's all of them. Let's go back to last week, okay? When you go back to last week, this is going to be a pin and pull RPO. Right? It's the same play. It's just coming from you from a different formation in a different angle, right? So here, pay attention to North Carolina State's box, right? Very heavy. They got 8 in the box, 9-10. This is what we call cover 0, no safeties. So what are they aggressively trying to do? They're aggressively trying to take away your run game. What happens on this play? Here's the pin and pull. TVD astutely picks up on it, hits the open guy, well, one-on-one with the back turns open to me. Bang, there's the touchdown. Now let's go ahead and forward to this week because I think Pitt got the message. This is going to be the same play, just the formation changes just a little. Instead of the tight end on the line, now you have a bunch set here to the boundary. So now pay attention to the box. There's only 6 in the box, right? There's 2 safeties in this formation. So what happens here? The blocking, pay attention to it. Great job. This is Ja'Kai Clark, who I've thought and praised has done a phenomenal job inserted as the center. You got a double right here. Navon, block. Here you go. Block. And now, final piece of the puzzle, the running back. The running back's in the fray, in the mix here. It's everything. Look at this, MJ. Because that speed. Bang. This question's coming in from Bald Cane at C$72. I think of Bald Cane, I immediately think of my childhood, Bald Bull, especially from the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. You know, the first one was terrible to face. The second one was a lot easier. You can dodge the first bull charge, and it was so much easier to time up the second one. I know, totally random. Big Mike Tyson's Punch-Out fan. Anyways, the offensive line has improved greatly in pass pro. Has there been a change in the scheme? Not necessarily a change in the scheme, but I do think there's been a change in philosophy. Now, run, pass pro, what have you, let's go back to Alabama week 1. This is your first third down. There's still 33 seconds on the play clock. 33 seconds. Alabama, I don't think you netted them the advantage by going fast. So what happens? They're going to go ahead and take a safety late into the box. They're going to bring another free hitter here from the field side, and they basically just go ahead and blow this play up before it even has a chance, right? I think that's when I started to notice that the tempo that the University of Miami Hurricanes operate with hurts you sometimes more than it helps you. And did you know that the last 2 weeks, the University of Miami have won their time of possession battles? I know, right? A fast, up-tempo offense won its time of possession battle against North Carolina State, win, and Pitt, win. So let's go ahead and forward to this week because you're going to notice something. This is a 2nd and 15. There's 22 seconds left on the play clock. Just the ability to look across the line, see if the defense is giving you some tells, measuring twice to cut once. Is there a useful avenue for tempo? Absolutely. But is there a useful avenue to go ahead, slow down, and see what you see? Because right here, 2nd and 15, and this isn't a successful play at all, right? It's not a successful play at all. But look at how they block it. Everything's blocked. They took the extra time. Great maturity here from Tyler to go ahead. Nothing's open. Go ahead. Stay in the pocket. Just throw the ball away. Live to fight another down. Don't force something. But if you ask me, the change in philosophy and slowing down just a little bit has helped their pass pro immensely. So this is going to be the last clip of the evening, and it's going to be essentially a 2-minute drill. I'm going to try to get to all the questions that I see online, and we'll try to answer them quickly. Do you think that the offense TVD is similar to what Rhett Lashley ran at SMU compared to what we previously saw from play calling or roots and development standpoint? Thank you, Guido. I watched earlier in the year, especially when D.R. King was still the quarterback here, and the SMU offense still looked very, very similar to me. Are there some things that Rhett Lashley has changed with Tyler Van Dyke? Yeah, I think he's taken the reins off and just let the guy push the ball downfield. So that's why I see that. Hey, Ro, call me overly analytical, but is TVD helping out our offensive line by calling pass pro audibles pre-snap? I don't necessarily see that, 247 Canes, but I do see the 5 offensive linemen starting to gel, and I think it's Ja'Kai Clark who's making these calls, and I think the ability to slow down, measure twice, cut once, like I referred to earlier in this video, is paying big dividends, and the running back staying in protection just a little bit longer. I've noticed that as well. Let's continue to scroll down, shall we? Can you do a video comparison? Give us a pro-level comp for TVD skill set. This is from Jackie Daytona. Jackie, it's still ongoing for me. I'll tell you one thing that I'm not good at. I don't really do the comparison things from quarterback to quarterback. I just let those guys speak for themselves. There's some things that maybe I can draw off of, but as of right now, I just don't see it. Aces and Canes, the offensive scheme has gotten better and better. Last few games, seen a couple jet sweeps, but having Rooster and Smith in the backfield together, some possibility, thoughts. I think Burchard is a phenomenal talent. Obviously, when I saw him against Connecticut State, his ability to hit pay dirt, he's fast. He's another Rooster type. I'm a big fan of that. Speed kills, and I think they need to find a couple more touches. But I had a question earlier about 12 set and using Arroyo. Only one ball. You do have a lot of talent on that offensive side of the ball, and it showed the last 2 weeks. Once again, another offensive line has started gelling midseason. They're struggling all year. Blitzbug, how and why is that suddenly different the past 2 weeks? I think we covered that. They're slowing down a little bit. Ja'Kai Clark gets a lot of credit for that as well. Does the offense seem more effective when using double tight end sets and have both as pass-first options? Obviously, the touchdown this week to Arroyo, that was when Will Mallory and Arroyo were on the field together. You also had a pivotal North Carolina State. That touchdown was from 2 tight end sets, and then they had a big, huge conversion late in the game, too, where there was a 4th down conversion where you used 2 tight end sets. I think Rhett Lashley is starting to use those 2 tight end sets more. Have they been effective? Absolutely. I think you're going to continue to see that in spots. Many said that they wanted to make sure our young impact talent stay in the program. Have you heard anything indicating major players transferring? Major players, no, but there's going to always be players that transfer, especially when they don't emerge on the depth chart. Who else can we put at corner? Because everyone is getting cooked by Butt Stevenson. It's something, and there's going to be another question. We have played every position but linebacker. Why is Sam Brooks stick to linebacker? Why change to his original position at tight end? How terrible is our linebacker play? So I'm going to try to answer all those questions quickly. I think you're going to have to get some portal help next season at the linebacker position and again at corner. That's just how I see it. Pitt really did a good job exposing us underneath. A lot of crossing routes. Manny was trying to get creative, moving a number one DB onto the slot so he can be the chaser across the field. I just think in these modern style offenses, you need to put a premium at speed at the linebacker position, and especially on crossing routes. You got to get those linebackers to follow those crossers if you need them to. There's other defenses that you could do. You could do a zone blitz, try to get back into those, those crossing lanes, but you can only do so much before the other teams start to pick up on you. And that's that. I kind of ran through that. Thank you for all your questions this week. I appreciate it. Once again, Caneswear, the everything store for everything Canes. Check them out at their Davies store location and check them out online. They are like the fastest shipping in the West. Like, you're going to get it. Whatever you order, you're going to get it. They have those special edition Sean Taylor jerseys. They were smooth. I ordered mine. Once again, thank you so much. I'm your boy, Ro, contributor for State of the U and OG member of the Orange Bowl Boys. And you stay safe out there, my friends.